In London, the time is 1 a.m. In Geneva, 2 a.m. In Paris, 2 a.m. In Hong Kong, 8 a.m. In Tokyo, 9 a.m. In Shanghai, 8 a.m. In Sydney, 11 a.m. But of course, it's another day. In Johannesburg, 2 a.m. In Lagos, 1 a.m. In Toronto, 8 p.m. In New York, 8 p.m. And right here in sunny Jamaica, it is 7 p.m. It's a wonderful Sunday evening and time for Just Talking Love. To our friends and fans here and around the world, welcome to Just Talking Love. I am Fabian, and I will be your host. You're now invited to listen to an interlude of music, and I will be back with you shortly.
Good evening. Good evening, friends and fans. I sincerely hope that you've had a rather beautiful week. I just want to welcome you this evening to our presentation of Just Talking Love. And of course, we're broadcasting from Newstalk 93 FM right here on the beautiful Mona campus of the University of the West Indies in Kingston, Jamaica. We'll be having a very special program for you this evening, and we'll be looking at certain matters that affect us all. If not now, it'll be affecting us later. So we invite you to tune in and let your friends know that this special program is on here. We'll also be having very, very special guests, which we will announce in a few moments. As of now, I want to give you a few moments just to settle down. Well, welcome back, welcome back. The song we played, in fact, our backdrop this evening, you will note that it's a song called I Will Always Love You. There's a very special reason for that backdrop this evening, because you see, the title of our program this evening is Enjoy Life Now, Plan Wisely for Your Senior Years. I hope you got that right. Enjoy now. In other words, enjoy this moment, but plan wisely for your senior years. Now, one may ask, considering what's happening around the world today, and some having to say that a certain section of our society do not intend or do not expect to live beyond age 25. Is that a fact? Always sincerely hope that it is not. In our studios this evening, we have a very, very special guest, and the person of Mrs. Maxine Whittingham Osborne, and we'll be speaking to her about these matters as mentioned earlier. We'll also be having another very special guest that will be joining us somewhere in the region for about 7:35, and we sincerely hope that you'll be able to follow, and we'd also like to remind you that you may share with us from time to time, and the numbers we will announce to you later on.
Everybody gotta save themselves, make the kuleana pono for help the other one. So when you make the kuleana, pono, it's like kind of automatic kind. You don't need talk and stuff going happen. And you just gotta let them, and the stuff just waiting for when you ready. What happened?
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also people passing by. See friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
Indeed, what a wonderful world, isn't it? Wonderful world. And on that note, I'd like to introduce our guest, Mrs. Maxine Whittingham Osborne. Good evening.
Good evening.
And how are you?
I am wonderful, and it's a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much. We'll be discussing a number of matters this evening. And as you know, we start off with this very special song, What a Wonderful World We Have. What a wonderful world we've had the opportunity to be a part of. And it's entirely dependent on how we live our lives, because everything is there for us to enjoy, wouldn't you say?
Most certainly. It is a wonderful world. God has blessed us with so much.
Exactly.
And I think it's for us to really grasp each day with both hands and take on the opportunities and make the best of it.
That's great. That's great. We'll be looking at inspiring and encouraging people to enjoy this moment. For a lot of us, this moment is all we may have. But let's look in the distant. We must enjoy now the best we can, but we need to plan wisely for senior years. It's a wonderful thing to be alive, and dependent on what we do now will dictate the quality of life that we will live in the future, would you say?
Most certainly.
What advice would you give our listeners in terms of preparing for later life? As a matter of fact, first we need to identify, though, what is youth? Because everybody these days addressed one another as youth.
My youth?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It appears that there's a fear of going beyond that, you know? Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to accept the fact that they're advancing in age. So I think it's proper that we should identify where youth stops and old age or seniors or advanced age begins.
Well, I think that, as they say, age is just a number.
Uh-huh.
And you are as old as you feel.
That's right.
And so I may be going into my senior years at 40.
Uh-huh.
Somebody else may be going into their senior years at 60. So it depends, you know?
Yes.
And of course, well, we know youth goes as far as, 21, etc.
Yes.
But then again, as I said, it depends on each person.
Well, it's interesting because a survey was done in the UK the other day. And as a result of that survey, we learned that youth stops at 32. 32, that's
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when your advanced age begins.
Mm-hmm.
Thereafter, immediately. Now, there are some people who believe that at 40, you're going over the edge, you know?
Over the hill. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if you haven't made it then, or planned carefully then, you're in a rather sticky wicket. So let's look at it. Youth ends at 32. By then, you need to get your faculties together and be responsible. Do you agree with that?
Well, my view is you should have started already.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, in terms of strategically planning for your latter years, for your senior years, you really need to start as soon as you get your first job.
That's right.
You really ought to be planning from then, because the fact is that if you wait until you're in your 30s or 40s, you would have lost some significant amount of time. And if you think about it, if you were to put down, let's say, $1,000 from age 21 and every month you put down $1,000. Think about how much more you would need to put to achieve the same amount if you started when you were 40. And the fact of the matter is that people are, whether we believe it or not, living longer. You know,
That's
and,
correct.
And if men retire at 65 and women at 60, and let's say you live to be, and based on what is happening now, people are living to be in their 90s and even further. So that's another 35 years, 35 years, you know.
That's right.
So,
And of course, the longer you live, is the more the value of your currency deteriorates.
exactly.
That means you need to work double hard
There you go.
to even
There you go.
maintain inflation.
That's right.
Isn't it sad?
Yes, so if you start at 32, you've started too late.
That's right. So we want to let everybody knows that the time is now.
The time is now. Plan wisely.
You need to start planning
Of course.
right now.
First job.
Even before.
Even before, exactly.
Because a lot of us tends to work even with part-time jobs while we're at school.
Exactly.
And even that can help.
And one of the things I see happening is that parents and we sometimes are to be blamed because we don't really sit our kids down and help them to understand, you know, that their youth is fleeting. As the Ecclesiastic says,
That's right.
youth and vigor is meaningless, you know, and in a split second it's gone, you know. So we really need to be planning and have our children understand that the sooner they start to plan for those senior years, the better.
Especially on days like these. You're listening to Just Talking Love, broadcasting from News Talk 93 FM right here on the beautiful Water Campus of the University of the West Indies in Kingston, Jamaica. We're about to take a short break. We'll be back with you momentarily.